And now we have Heather Johnson, First National Bank of Santa Fe, along for the ride with us, and they support a number of small businesses here in the community, and one of the oldest banks here in New Mexico, and I think throughout the western United States, I believe, somewhere in the 1800s. And of course, they do a lot of social media networking alongside ABQ West Chamber, and we're going to talk a little bit of that right now with Luis Hernandez. Luis, take it away.
Santa Fe to host a social media training program that we do on a monthly basis. And at the last meeting that we had, Heather had an opportunity to kind of give us some background on First National Bank of Santa Fe, and it's a little bit of history that we were talking about here. But if you could, Heather, share that history with us.
Sure. We were founded in 1870. We're actually the oldest bank in the Southwest. We were founded by Lucian Maxwell, who is the largest landowner in northern New Mexico. He sold all of his grants for about $650,000, started up the bank, sold it 2 years later, and moved down to Fort Sumner. So you'll find a lot of First National Bank of Santa Fe in the history of New Mexico.
Well, a very historical bank. Neat story. Now, Rita said, hey,
my great-grandfather was the territorial governor of New Mexico when Lincoln was president, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was the signer of those original grants, Henry M. Connolly.
How about that? Some deep history right here on the ABQ West radio show. More importantly, Heather, people hear the name First National Bank of Santa Fe, and quickly we assume that you guys are just in Santa Fe. Tell us how true that is not.
That is not true at all. We've actually been in Albuquerque about 10 years. We have 2 locations here, and we expanded 4 years ago up into Denver. So you'll find us not only in northern New Mexico, but Albuquerque and Denver.
Awesome. Now, for those who don't know, how would you guys describe your banking experience or your business, if you will?
Well, we're a local community bank, and we want to get to know our customers. So everybody who walks through the doors of my bank, I usually know their name, a little bit about their family. I get to ask how their last vacation was, and more importantly, I know more about their business. So we're able to meet all of their needs, and not just sort of a packaged cookie product of this is what you need, X, Y, and Z, just because you're a small business, this is what you should have. We're able to tailor all of our products just to the needs of our clients, so they only get what they need. And more importantly, we're developing long-lasting relationships.
So outside of the typical banking, what are some of the products or services? Or I guess maybe a good question to ask you is, what is the most unique product or service that you guys provide?
Well, for one thing, we do answer our telephones, which is pretty unique in this world of automation. So often you get a computer when you call into a number, even if it's a local number, but we do answer our telephones. We also offer a lot of products to make it easier to bank with us remotely. We offer remote deposit capture, so you can scan checks at your desk without needing to come into the branch.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of great things that we're able to do. We also have the mobile banking, the app, a website. It's, everything that you can get from maybe a larger bank.
And it's all from the folks at First National Bank of Santa Fe who take the time to answer their phones and take the time to get to know you on a personal level. I'll tell you, that's neat. Unfortunately, I'm not a customer yet, I'll say, and the banking institution that I use, I won't mention their name here, but you're absolutely right. I had a need, about a week ago, and I called in, with that need, and I was just baffled at how many turns I had to take on the phone, and to really get to nowhere, and I had to actually go into a branch, which I was trying to put off doing here. So that's
and
something.
You're of course talking about another bank, right?
Yeah.
Well, why aren't you doing business with First National Bank of Santa Fe?
That's
Luis?
why I
I'm
said.
I'm going to ask this question for Heather right now. You know what? You need to be changing your bank account, which, Heather, I can assure you, if I have to strong-arm this gentleman over here, he'll be walking his business directly over to you right after the show.
I most certainly will. I got to tell you, their bank has been really, really, really good to the chamber. In fact, one of our board members happens to be employed by First National Bank of Santa Fe, Miss Lucia Bracken. Tell us really quickly about Lucia.
Lucia is our operations manager. She works up in Santa Fe, and she and I have been great in partnering with this chamber activity so that, I'm able to open up my office to you and have the events there. We've hosted several networking events, plus the Thursday mornings about Facebook, and it's been really neat to see it expand and grow over since I remember her telling me she went to the first networking event maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and there were maybe 10 people there. And now
I think it was 5.
5 years ago.
No, 5 people.
And now we have 75 people who come into the bank when we have a networking event there. So
Right.
it's been really great.
It's awesome. I'll tell you what, she's been an integral part of the growth of the chamber, and I'm sure that the dedication and passion that she has for the chamber, she also brings back to the bank in helping you guys with those same things. Speaking of that, she herself is a Burqueña who has the opportunity to work up in Santa Fe. Let me ask you this, specifically about Albuquerque. How does the bank operate here, or what is the easiest part for the bank being able to do business here?
Well, I'm also Burqueñan.
Oh,
so
Burqueñas.
So I'm able to know a lot of people here in Albuquerque, and that's been really great to bring those relationships that I've made over the years to First National Bank of Santa Fe. And I really love the atmosphere of Albuquerque. It's so laid back, and my customers come in, and it's not a very formal relationship that I have with them that so many people think about with their banker. That we are able to chat a lot.
So no suit and ties at your desk. You can sit down. You can talk about the kids. You can talk about what they did last weekend, and then got down to business on doing their banking there. You probably give a lot of advice to these customers, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you, in the role that you're in here with the bank, what is some of the best business advice that you've received?
Well, a few years ago, I went through the Franklin Covey training with the 7 Habits of Effective People.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that made a big impact for me was when he did the pebbles and the rocks, where he has the pebbles in a glass jar and it's filled up. And how do you put the important rocks, like your family, your relationships, and your work, in, because it's already filled up with all this minutia. And what you have to do is you put the rocks in first and make those very important. And that's the same way when you're doing your business. You have to make sure that the important things come in first and that the minutia doesn't take over. So your relationships with your clients are the most important things. Managing their money is the most important thing. Making their banking easier is the most important thing. And then all the rest of the minutia and everything will fall into place after that.
That's absolutely right, and I'll tell you, that kind of seems to be the reoccurring theme here on this particular show with Leo doing what he does. Taking time to take care of those relationships. Sonic SEO, you help your clients take care of those relationships there, and now you've heard it from Heather. She's epitomizes relationships by way of how you do business, and taking a step back and building those relationships with your clients, and then nurturing those relationships so that you have long-term clients at the bank there. Mm-hmm. I think that's really, really, really neat. I mean, are there other things that you can tell us about that you personally do to develop those relationships?
Well, I mean, it starts at the very beginning. I go out on a call and I meet with a client and I sit down and hopefully I get to take a tour of their business, and they show me everything that they do. And then I might look at their bank statements and see what their current bank is charging them and how we can make it easier. And then from there I go out and I deliver the paperwork to them directly instead of having them come in. I mean, all these little things that can save the business owner time, that they don't have to come into the branch to take care of these things. I'm able to go out to them and take care of it for them.
Wow. That's a treat. I'll tell you what, I'm a small business owner, and I have the wonderful opportunity of working with the chamber and of course now Eddie here at the radio station. I'm always in a time crunch. Maybe I just don't know how to manage my time, my wife might say. But that's a neat feature, because I'll tell you what, over at XYZ Bank, I won't say who they are, they've never come to my door delivering me any paperwork that I've needed to have, or they've never picked up the phone to call me and say, "Hey, happy birthday, guy! Mm-hmm. You've been your business has been banking with us for the last 10 years, and we appreciate you. I just want to call and say happy birthday." What's the response from your customers?
A lot of times they're surprised. We do try and send birthday cards out on a monthly basis, and we actually sent one to a client's son, and he was so excited to get something in the mail, and it was a birthday card from the bank, and he thought that was really neat, and the client came in and commented on it. So it's neat when you know those things that you're doing are making an impact on somebody else.
That's awesome. I want to send people to you, so if I wanted to send somebody to you, where would I start? How would I go about finding you?
Well, our branch is at 7620 Jefferson. We're in the Journal Center area, in the parking lot of the Starbucks. We have a great building there. That's where we do the Thursday morning Facebook. And then our website is fmb-sf.com. They can go online and check us out and see what's available there first, too.